Welcome to another episode of Monster Monday from the Ready to Die channel. This series explores the design of a creature I have built for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. The stat block for this creature can be found over on the Monster Monday blog, as well as the Twitter and Discord, all of which are linked below. This week features a fearsome fiend form from my own imagination, unearth an elemental enemy known as the Stone Scourge. My stone-shelled scorpion is depicted in art provided by the one and only SethMonster, whose link you can find down below, and is born from several ideas that slowly assembled themselves. I've always found scorpions to be fascinating creatures, and actually had a separate concept that I struggled to make more unique. Eventually, I settled on an idea that helped make the Scourge a more unique creature with a petrifying poison. Well, technically venom. This feature actually decided the level I used for this monster, setting it at a level where players are at least able to have access to Stone to Flesh. It surprised me to discover how high ranked this spell is, compared to the number of creatures that have permanent petrification powers. This level also puts it in between some of those creatures. The Gorgon is level 8, and the Ceabrae is level 16, and this one ends up smack dab in the middle. My original concept for the Stone Scourge as an animal or maybe a beast, but as the idea became clearer, I settled on making the Stone Scourge an elemental associated with Earth, separating it from the other elemental scorpion. The Scourge is a somewhat simplistic creature, a huge earthen beast that smashes enemies with a high strength that it employs to seize and shatter its stone subjects. Its constitution isn't far behind with a moderate bonus, while its remaining ability scores only have a low or lower bonus. There isn't much to the Stone Scourge's remaining mental scores, which includes a beast-like intellect and a charisma of 0, lacking much of a personality. The Scourge is a hunter and a stalker that slips through the sands, and it uses a high perception bonus to aid it in that goal. It is further helped by dark vision and the more distinctive tremor sense, an absolute necessity for a burrowing beast such as this. For its skills, the Stone Scourge secures a high athletics bonus, as it does have a focus on clutching prey with its claw, while its stealth is moderate to allow it to creep up on this prey, possibly blending in with the rocks. It rounds its options out with a low acrobatics bonus to help it balance on uneven terrain in its earthen environments. In regards to its defenses, the Stone Scourge is fairly simple. I thought maybe it should have some sort of resistance, but I couldn't find much of a reasoning for it after looking through other similarly stony specimens. Instead, it has a high armor class, its carapace able to deflect blows made against it. On the other hand, it only uses a moderate pool of hit points, mainly to maintain the balancing act between its other abilities. Now, while it doesn't have any physical resistances despite its stony structure, the Scourge does have some immunities inherent to it being an elemental. These immunities are to bleed, paralysis, poison, and sleep, which actually came up a bit in the playtest when one of the players had a wounding rune on their weapon. The Scourge's ability scores are then reflected in its saving throws. It has a high fortitude save based off of its constitution, a moderate reflex save based off of its dexterity, and then its will save ends up being its weak point with only a low bonus based off of its wisdom bonus. Now, the Scourge is equipped with quite a number of offensive capabilities, though all of them use a moderate attack bonus, as these attacks can lay out some serious effects. Its pincer is agile, with some considerable reach that is common among all its attacks, but only moderate damage. However, it also comes with the grab ability. Originally, I had used improved grab, but the Scourge has a bit too much action compression in its kit that I wasn't looking to lose, so to be able to grab a creature as a free action was a bit too much, and was therefore switched to the standard grab ability. On the Scourge's other hand, literally, is its Rock Club, a weapon made to shatter stone into bite-sized pieces for the Scourge to snack on. To help it break things apart, the Rock Club features the Raising trait, and is equipped with extreme damage to help the Scourge smash through the hardness of its targets. Bringing up the rear of the Scourge's attacks is its Stone Stinger, which only has the Reach trait, deals moderate damage, but is the only attack that the Scourge can make a reactive strike with, inspired by the Giant Scorpion. This might put the Stinger at a slightly less power level than the rest of its attacks, but it does come with one more minor little thing: the Stone Scourge Venom. This is a highly potent and crippling sort of venom, lending to a moderate save DC, as well as the incapacitation trait to keep it from wiping out an enemy with ease, and I can assure you that it is still quite potent. Actually had a subject get permanently petrified by this toxin during the monster mash. While it starts innocuously enough, their body getting clumsy as it begins to stiffen into stone, this does make it easier to hit them, and the later stages start applying the slowed condition that eventually builds into that permanent petrification. The wording of which is based on other petrification abilities. Aiding this sinister stinging, stabbing some suckers, and applying this venom is its frenzied stinging action. I was talking to my test subjects about how I feel like I've remade Flurry of Blows a lot lately, and this is another example of that, with its single action for 2 attacks. Like that monkish maneuver, it has the Flourish trait, but this is distinguished by the requirement of having a victim in its vice grip, holding them aloft as it violently stabs them with its tail. Speaking of holding prey in its claw, the Stone Scourge has the Constrict basic monster ability, which deals low strike damage but requires a high DC Fortitude save, meaning that unless the target critically succeeds, they're likely to take at least some matter of damage. Between this and Frenzied Stinging, 2 single action abilities that mesh quite nicely together, since one doesn't require an attack roll, the Scourge needed to have Grab on its pincer instead of Improved Grab, so it couldn't Pincer Strike, Improved Grab, and then Constrict, and then Frenzied Stinging? That's just a bit too much. With that change, it has to choose between these effects, at least on the first turn. While these abilities cover much of the Scourge's regular combat rotation, it does have a fun way to enter combat, and possibly to do hit and run tactics. As part of its movement capabilities, the Scourge has Earth Glide, a regular ability seen on many stone elementals. The Scourge will use this to swim through the earth, hunting prey while it cannot be seen, only to emerge through its Erupt from the earth action. As 2 actions, this allows the Scourge to burrow twice and then emerge, throwing all nearby creatures off balance. This is based on a high DC reflex save, and ranges from throwing enemies off guard to knocking them prone to full out stunning them as they are thrown violently off their feet. It is certainly a dynamic way to enter the fight, and was a fun way to introduce the monster during the mash. That does bring us to the end of the design discussion for this deadly Dune Dweller. This terrestrial terror tunnels under targets, tossing them in toppling tangles and terminating with a temperament by turning tangos into tableaus. I love the opportunity to build arthropods. Even if they're entirely made out of stone, there's just something I find neat about these types of creatures. The Scourge is a fantastic ambush predator, especially in earthen environments such as deserts and caves, but I always caution the use of a creature that can deliver effects such as permanent petrification. Though, on the other hand, Paizo appears perfectly fine with publishing creatures even at a lower level with such powers, so I am just going to follow their lead here. Now before I head out, I wanted to let you all know that I will be out for the next 2 weeks. There's going to be Full Build Friday to round out this week, but then I'll be out of town on a little vacay until June 24th, when I'll return with a new Monster Monday. With that, let me know what you think of this creature and what other creatures you might like to see by leaving a comment. If you want to see other versions of this creature, or other monsters I've made, consider checking out the blog, Twitter, or Discord, all of which are linked below. Thanks for watching, and have a monstrous Monday.